Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about flaws and polarity. So when it comes to flaws, there are many different types of flaws a character can have. So I like physical imperfection for my own brand. So I joke about my hair, which is receding really quickly and stuff like that, because it's a nice sort of way to do things. If I wore my specs in these videos, I'd refer to myself as a binoclard, have a bit of fun with that kind of things. If your character's got flaws, it makes them closer to being a normal, regular person. It's not good to have a character like Superman, for example, whose only real weakness is kryptonite. I mean, that's boring compared to a character like Batman, who has so many different flaws, internal angsts, and lots of demons. So that makes Batman a much more compelling sort of character to follow. And when you've got a character that is compelling, they've got flaws, and these flaws can be psychological, emotional, they can be physical. It is really, really good to have these flaws because they give you a character that has vulnerability. And when people have vulnerability, it's like everybody's got vulnerability, but when they see that in someone else, it elevates them. It makes them feel less powerless against a faceless corporate entity, which is a brand, So it can be really, really good to enjoy the flaws that you've got. And so we'll move on a little bit to polarity. And polarity, I think, is dangerous. Polarity is something which is often mentioned by people. Russell Brunson says you have to have polarity, and he is a far superior marketer to me. And Russell Brunson is pretty much amazing, but I disagree with him when it comes to polarity, because if you have a focus, like a political focus, you'll notice how much having a serious political focus negatively affects people. So for me, yes, I can see that you'll get some people from this group and some people from this group who will go to your business and who will experience your product and enjoy your services. But there are other companies which ignore it completely. I mean, as long as the companies are ignoring it, there are so many of my local shops, they don't talk politics, they don't get involved in any of this stuff. And it is much better for their brand. It is much better for them, because if you're getting involved in things, yes, you are going to guarantee that there are people who love you, but you're also going to guarantee that there are people who hate you. And if you don't have a sort of polarity, you don't pick a side in the great big political arguments that infest the internet. Because here's the thing, the world of politics, the world of all of these different things changes regularly, all right? And if you upset one group of people one day, they're not going to forgive you tomorrow when everything that you were talking about is irrelevant, because they're just going to associate you with the negative emotion. So I think it's best to avoid polarity when it comes to building your attractive character. My best recommendation for things is be supportive. Have that as a persona. That's useful. Because if you're supportive of people, not any particular group, just being friendly and nice and upbeat about things, this is going to aid you much better than having a specific polarity. Let's look at politics for a minute. You do not want to wade into that morass. I've seen companies do it. I've seen it destroy companies. I've worked with companies that it has destroyed. So it is not worth stepping into that arena, because you might think, oh, I'm catering to a certain audience, that's good. But then again, you've got to think, everybody is catering to certain audiences. Why can't I just cater to everybody? Isn't that better? Everybody is welcome. And by not having those rigid stances, you are benefiting your brand, because people aren't going to look back on you and think, oh, they didn't pick a side when it came to it. It's not a matter about that, not a matter of that sort of thing. Being neutral is actually a benefit when it comes to running a business and running it successfully, because you do not want to upset people, because their memories of the hurt will remain. Unfortunately, we live in a very emotional society and people don't switch it off easily. So my recommendation is, when it comes to that, don't make polarity one of your flaws. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful, and on to the next part.